Ladies and gentlemen, from the streets of downtown Tulsa, Oklahoma, welcome to the main event of the evening. 10 two-minute rounds for the unified WBC, WBO, WBA, IBF, IBO Women's Welterweight Championship of the World. Presented to you by Mr. Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing, in association with Warriors Boxing, sponsored to you by JD Sports and TC1, live on Dazn, where it's always fight season. Sanctioned by the Oklahoma State Athletic Commission, the administrating chair is Joe Miller, also sanctioned by the World Boxing Council President, Mauricio Suleiman, World Boxing Organization President Francisco Vargasel, World Boxing Association, Gilberto Mendoza Jr., International Boxing Federation, Daryl Peoples, and International Boxing Organization, Ed Levine, our supervisor at ringside for the WBC, also in charge tonight for the IBF and WBO, Robert Lenhart. Our three judges scoring this contest at ringside tonight on the 10-point must system, Karen Holderfield, Gerald Ritter, and also David Sutherland, and our referee in charge at the sound of the bell, Lawrence Cole. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Two diamonds, one ring tonight. Who will shine the brightest? Fight fans, it's time to get in the zone! Introducing to you tonight, the challenger, fighting out of the red corner, with trainer Rick Ramos, wearing the black trunks. She officially weighed in at 144.4 pounds. Entering this contest, her record consists of 10 professional bouts, 8 victories, including 3 wins by way of knockout and only 2 defeats. Introducing to you the WBC and WBA Super Lightweight Champion of the World from the Windy City, Chicago, Illinois, Cecilia McCaskill! And her opponent across the ring tonight, fighting out of the blue corner with head trainer Abel Sanchez. Tonight wearing white with black trim. She officially weighed in at 145 pounds. Tonight she looks to make history, breaking Joe Louis's long-standing record of 25 successful title defenses. Her unblemished record consists of 36 bouts, 36 victories, including 9 huge wins by way of knockout. Presenting to you the undefeated, the undisputed, reigning and defending women's welterweight champion of the world, fighting out of Big Bear, California, by way of Bergen, Norway. Here is the First Lady of Boxing, Cecilia Braekhus.
Yeah, come on. Water. Real quick, I went over the rules earlier. I want you to obey my commands. Protect yourselves at all times. Touch them up, and best of luck to both of y'all.
The man that ended Joe Louis's streak, Ezzard Charles. Can Jessica McCaskill be the Cincinnati Cobra here tonight and stop Cecilia Braekhus from winning her 37th straight fight and her 26th straight title defense, or will order continue for the Norwegian? History will be made here tonight one way or another. The champ, Braekhus in the white, McCaskill in the black.
McCaskill told us that she needs to feel out Braekhus in the first round. Fight smart defensively before she gets aggressive and go in there and start digging into the body like we expect.
I'll tell you what, Braekhus looks a lot bigger next to McCaskill in the ring than they did in person during the weigh-ins and the stare-downs at the press conference.
McCaskill's, the smaller fighter. She's fought as low as 132. Braekhus has stayed at 147 her entire career. She's definitely the bigger puncher, but McCaskill, she has confidence in those big hands. She says, I got bigger hands and I punch a lot harder. She's First Lady.
Overhead right!
No punching. Step back. Box.
Again, keep in mind, only 2-minute rounds. You don't have a lot of time to feel your opponent out. And as Sergio said earlier, you can't really set up the knockout blow. You got to come out guns blazing.
Stop. Stop.
That's why that
Don't
extra
push.
minute's going to be better for women's boxing, because they don't have to go in there and bum rush their opponents right off the bat. They can plan their strategy. They can be efficient with the jab, take their time. And that extra minute is also going to tire both of them out. That's when knockouts come. Braekhus doing a good job keeping McCaskill on the outside right now with sharp left hooks.
She just ate a left hand there, though.
McCaskill threw a nice right hand to the chest of Braekhus. That was on purpose. I liked that right hand earlier. See right there, she came up short with it, but that's a game plan of theirs. They're aiming for the chest of Braekhus. Here we see Braekhus with her left hand down and McCaskill doing the veteran thing, coming over the top. Braekhus doing a nice job putting the elbow down. She didn't get warned by the referee, so it's legal.
Right hand, but you're trying to throw everything so long that you're going over the top and you're crowding yourself. Don't crowd yourself. Really short punches. Okay? But good jabs, though.
You know, you look at McCaskill's record of 8-2, and it may seem scarce, but she's definitely among the best women's boxers in the world. 40% of her career fights have been world title bouts. Talk about being thrown right into the fire. But she is 35 years old and is fully confident she can beat perhaps the best ever here tonight. We're in downtown Tulsa, Oklahoma. Todd Grisham and Sergio Mora ringside.
And the other two losses, one was earlier in her career by split decision. The other one by the undisputed champ, Katie Taylor.
Katie Taylor fighting next week against Delphine Persoon. It is widely believed that the winner of this fight will square off against the winner of that fight.
McCaskill doing a good job power jabbing like that, upstairs like that. That's a nice power jab right there. Braekhus ran into it earlier.
Nice right hand from McCaskill. There's a counter right by Braekhus.
Rick Ramos, the trainer of Jessica McCaskill, asking for body shots. That's exactly what I want to see more of, because right now Braekhus is doing a good job blocking the shots upstairs. It's the body that's going to slow down the champion.
Right.
And Sergio, you told us earlier that you thought McCaskill would be coming on strong later, not so much early on.
No, early on, I think Braekhus is going to have the distance and the discipline behind the jab and get the points. She has a clean punching style, that European clean punching style. So I think later, when the fight gets a little harder and those 38-year-old legs start creeping up on you, that's when McCaskill's going to have success.
Well, keep in mind, McCaskill's 35. She's no spring chicken either.
Yeah, but she has a lot less rounds in the bank, a lot less wear and tear. And she's only had like 61 rounds compared to like 260 of Braekhus professionally.
McCaskill coming off a majority decision win over Erica Farias back in October of last year. No one really putting their stamp on this fight yet. Both rounds have been relatively close.
No one's putting their stamp, but I think if someone's game plan is working a little bit better, it's McCaskill, because she already got in the inside and broke that distance.
You cannot let her tie you up or you tie her up. Okay, you got to continue turning her and be ready to. It doesn't have to be a big punch. You know, it could be a real short one. Just turn your wrist. Okay, but do not allow yourself to.
And here we see a lot what we see in women's boxing, both landing shots. That's what's really hard in 2 minutes to really figure out a winner. But right there, Braekhus got the better of that shot. Caught McCaskill pulling out. Braekhus needs to keep that chin down when she's pulling out.
Not sure if you saw this, Sergio, but right when Cecilia Braekhus sat down, she put her arms up on the ropes. Abel Sanchez pulled them off the ropes and put them at her side.
That's what I told you in the Madrimov fight. When trainers see that, it's a sign of weakness. It's a sign of being tired and fatigued.
I'll give you all 3
Of course, Madrimov was doing it as well, but Abel Sanchez was able to spot that and take her arms down. Mind you, Braekhus was supposed to train in January. She stayed in Big Bear training this entire time. At 38 years old, you gotta train smart, not that hard.
Nice left hand there by McCaskill, who has thrown 109 punches through 2 rounds, just 46 for Braekhus.
Stop! Step back. Watch your elbow. Box.
And there's an old saying in boxing that fighters can get old overnight. She's been working her tail off at Big Bear, has Cecilia Braekhus, but she is 38 years old. We'll see how those legs hold up as this fight progresses.
Especially if you're burnt out. No matter how many wins and successes you had in your career, if you're burned out, if you're already questioning yourself and thinking about retirement, like Cecilia Braekhus has been doing, you're already halfway out right there. And that's why I keep saying this is a prime spot for McCaskill to get the upset and shock the world.
Step back. Good job.
And speaking of the Joe Louis theme, remember when Billy Conn had him in big trouble and went for the knockout? He was a much smaller fighter coming up in weight to fight Joe Louis. McCaskill coming up from super light welterweight to full welterweight.
The shots right there by Braekhus.
Right hand there for McCaskill.
Braekhus is not fighting her disciplined fight. She's fighting McCaskill's fight right now in the inside, not keeping that disciplined jab. Usually I see her boxing and moving, but it takes legs to do that. Doubling the jabs, the 1-2 downstairs.
Round 4 scheduled for 10. How do you have it through 3 rounds?
I think it was 1-1. McCaskill had a good second round right there. But McCaskill's only going to get stronger and stronger, and if he keep fighting the inside right there, I can see a clash of heads. They got to watch out for a clash of heads.
Ooh, good straight right for Braekhus coming in.
Yeah, she's a cleaner puncher of the two. That's what makes it easy for judges to see. Usually she fights behind a nice right 1-2 punch, very disciplined, but she usually has distance right here.
Well, Braekhus said that her inside fighting has greatly improved under the tutelage of Abel Sanchez. Are you seeing that right now?
Not yet, but I could see that she's trying, because this is not the strategy that she normally fights with. She likes to be on her toes, bouncing, using the rings, keeping the fight in the middle of the ring behind a jab. And she throws a 1-2 to the body, which is rare too. But she spears you with jabs the entire time.
Half minute to go here in the 4th round. Very close contest.
Break!
You could probably make a case that either one of these fighters has won every round.
Like I said earlier, that's why it's difficult to judge these women's fights with they're only 2 minutes. That extra minute can be the deterring factor of a close round.
Step back. Step back for me. Stop! Step back.
Well, to put it in perspective,
Time!
Cecilia Braekhus with a big smile as she walked to the center of the ring here for round 5. Undisputed welterweight world championship bout. McCaskill coming up in weight. Let's check in now with Beto Duran.
thing that Abel Sanchez said why he chose to work with Cecilia, because she's different. She's the first female professional that Abel's worked with, and he's been reluctant in the past. Asked him what's different about her. He said she works hard, she's a pioneer, she's a leader. You don't have to tell her anything twice. And they put her through the grueling workouts in Big Bear at the Summit Gym. Said never complained. And when Gennady Golovkin moved out of his apartment in Big Bear, who moved in? Cecilia. He said nothing's changed, loves working with her, and really proud of the way that she's evolved working in Big Bear.
Yeah, Abel told us that she's one of the 3 hardest working fighters he's ever worked with, Sergio, and he's been with some big names.
Well, you can't break records, and you can't, be a champion for that long, 11 years, without having discipline and being intelligent and knowing how to win and knowing how to preserve yourself. McCaskill's dipping her head to the same side right there, that right side, and I think Braekhus is closing the distance on that right hand. She keeps punching down on McCaskill because McCaskill's not switching up the defense.
Ooh, big right hand, maybe the best punch of the fight for Jessica McCaskill, and Braekhus answers back. This fight is flying by. We're at the halfway point. Who do you give the edge to?
I like the way McCaskill's been fighting. I mean, she's really fighting her fight. I'm surprised that Braekhus, even though she's in this fight, she's not fighting her fight behind the jab, and she's not on her toes. She's not keeping the fight in the middle of the ring. She's not popping that spear out like she normally is. She usually is a great ring general. She does it with footwork and jabs. And right now she's fighting McCaskill's fight.
Yeah, neither fighter really bouncing on their toes much. A lot of punches getting smothered as well. Oh, nice little right hand there for McCaskill. And in a 2-minute round, Sergio, one punch makes the difference.
Oh, absolutely. In a 3-minute round, that could sometimes happen if it's that clean. That's a clean right hand there by Braekhus. See, McCaskill keeps dipping her head to that right side. I would like to see her dip to the left side. Braekhus is experienced enough to keep chopping downstairs. She's going to keep chopping that right hand to where her head's going to be.
These two women had met before at a UFC event. In fact, it was Holly Holm versus Cyborg in 2017. They took a picture together. McCaskill did not want to raise her fist up in the picture like Braekhus did because she didn't want Cecilia to see how big her fists were because she thought that might intimidate her and that she wouldn't fight her.
I used to do the opposite of that in pictures. I have small hands. I don't like showing this.
You're like a little baby.
Baby hands.
And I wonder how the judges will view McCaskill ducking her head like that.
And here's the right hand that I was telling you about. I mean, the later this fight goes, if Braekhus is going to be pulling out like that, pulling back, McCaskill's going to be throwing those overhand rights. That was a clean shot right there. It wasn't meant to really hurt her. It was just a punch that caught her attention.
Wasn't meant to hurt her.
Well, I didn't think she was expecting to land that punch, to tell you the truth, because she didn't really torque her whole hip and waist into it.
Very, very good.
It's kind of like an arm punch.
Good. I want to see some feints in there, but the most important thing is you have to turn her. You have to, when she lunges at you like that and she's got her head down there, you should be on that side throwing punches at her. All right?
And like you said, she keeps dipping her head to the same side, and Abel Sanchez says when she does that, you know where it's going to be. Flipper. Round 7. Just 4 rounds to go, Sergio. And we have got a competitive fight. Cecilia Braekhus trying to break Joe Louis's streak of 25 successful title defenses in one division. Jessica McCaskill looking to become the undisputed champion at welterweight.
Studying this fight, I thought these rounds, 7, 8, 9, 10, this is when McCaskill was going to have to really put the pedal to the metal and get aggressive, but she's been aggressive from round 1. This is a competitive fight. Who knows who's up? Who do you have up?
You know, through 6 full rounds, I could see it being maybe 4-2 McCaskill, 3-3 perhaps.
4-2, 3-3 sounds right.
Either way, it is close. We'd love to hear what you guys think. Give us a shout out on social media.
Keep him up, keep him up.
Nice right hand by Braekhus.
Yes.
See, this is Braekhus' fight right there. That's what I wanted to see more of. See how she's not putting much behind the punches, just 1-2s, keeping the opponent at bay, but those are points. Those are points, and that's how you frustrate your opponent.
Time.
Keep her at the end of your punches.
Box.
Someone's losing hair ties.
It's a good round for Cecilia Braekhus. She's punching down at McCaskill now. Not aiming at her face, she's aiming where her head's gonna be at.
Well, a good big fighter beats a good small fighter, and in that round, that appeared to be the case. All right, Sergio, as we enter the 7th round, which fighter would you rather be right now? Or 8th round, excuse me.
No, I think it's an even fight. I'd rather be McCaskill, and I'll tell you why, because she's following her game plan. This is what she needs to do to win. That last round, if Braekhus was fighting like that from the beginning of the fight, like she's fighting right now on her toes and keeping the distance, then I would like to be her. Look, right there. She get back and counter. That's her fight, Todd, I'm telling you. At the end of the jab, making McCaskill miss.
McCaskill has been way more active, but Braekhus more precise, and she's in fact landed more punches, 62 to 54. It's got to be hard for those CompuBox guys to score these punches though on the inside. It's very difficult.
Stop! Step back! Step back!
Tell you what I have seen, notice the difference between Abel Sanchez and Braekhus here. She's been throwing that left hook. Usually she's a straight 1-2 puncher, and she's been very successful just doing that, but she's implemented a nice left hook to finish it off. 1, 2, 3. Sounds simple, but she's doing it right.
Haven't seen either one of these fighters really sit down on their punches and go for it. Right hand there for McCaskill. Ooh, there was, talk about sitting down and throwing. That's what McCaskill did there, but she came up with air.
3 straight haymakers right there, and that will take it out of you. If you're tired, missing like that will fatigue you even faster.
What round? David.
Use your move your head a little bit. And when you're inside, you gotta leave your head alone. You understand? You gotta leave your head alone.
Here we're gonna see the same punches by McCaskill on the inside. Little uppercuts. They didn't land cleanly, but she's trying to land those shots. Those are her favorite punches, but I think Braekhus did really well keeping McCaskill out on the end of that jab in that round.
There you go. There you go.
2 rounds to go. Jessica McCaskill, the challenger, coming up in weight to face one of the, if not the greatest female fighters of all time. She's doing well, but is she doing well enough to get a decision? It seems like the last couple rounds, Braekhus has sort of dictated the pace, the tempo.
Because she dictated the distance, and that's her fight. So McCaskill's looking to land those haymakers and fight those dirty inside fighting. But if Braekhus won't give her that, then she'll have no success. She'll be coming up short. So those are nice counters right there by Braekhus. Uppercut, left hook, and then smothered the attack of McCaskill. Body shot by McCaskill.
Sergio, your good buddy Chris Mannix just texted us from the bubble in Orlando. He's at the NBA bubble. He had it 4 rounds to 3 Cecilia Braekhus through 7.
That's what I have it too. 4 to 3.
It looks like Braekhus is doing well here in the 9th. Grazing right hand from McCaskill, who seems to have run out of ideas.
Yeah, she did. I mean, she really started off exactly what she needs to do to beat the champ, but right now she's letting the champ back in. And we all know you got to beat the champ to become the champ. McCaskill's not doing that in these final last 3-4 rounds.
Touch him up at the bell. Touch him up at the bell.
Final championship round.
Abel, tell. Touch him up.
Here we go. This feels like a must-win round for Jessica McCaskill. Do you sense that?
Yeah, I do sense that.
She might even need a knockdown. Both women fighting like they may need a knockdown here early on.
The last 2-3 rounds, Braekhus had success fighting behind the jab and moving. Right now she's engaging and giving a chance for McCaskill to land something big and turn this round or this fight around. Which is unlike.
It was interesting, Sergio. I'm not sure which trainer it was, but one of them said, I think this is the 8th round as they were standing up.
I heard that. It was in McCaskill's, I'm sorry, in Braekhus' corner. They were confused.
That's wild. Well, we don't have the ring card girls, obviously.
Step right.
There you go, Todd. Essential workers.
Sorry.
Bring them back, dadgummit. What are we doing? Under a minute to go.
Stop. Step back.
McCaskill predicted knockout. She's having a pretty good round here.
Step back. Break.
And if she wins this round, who knows, Sergio?
Yeah.
Who knows? I could potentially see it 5 rounds apiece.
Yours.
And that's why that extra minute is needed in women's boxing, Todd. I said it at the beginning of this fight. That extra minute can sometimes tell the difference between a close fight. In women's boxing, you don't see a lot of knockouts. So that 60 seconds might be a game changer for women's boxing.
Step back. Break.
And that will do it. A very fast World Championship fight. Neither woman really celebrating too much. You look at the body of work and you look at the numbers, it appears that Braekhus did enough to win. But you never know.
Walk around.
What's your gut tell you?
Man, I hate to say it, but how about a draw? I mean, that's pretty much both of them aren't celebrating. Both of them landed good shots. The first half of the fight was McCaskill. The second half of the fight was Braekhus. But if I had to edge it out to somebody, I would say Cecilia Braekhus actually finish the fight, which is what judges remember and which is what fans remember. You know, so if she ended boxing behind the jab, following her game plan in the end, that's what's left in the imaginations of everyone watching.
6 rounds to 4 feels about right.
That could be it.
Well, McCaskill got her shots in.
She got her shots in early, Todd. I mean, I would like to hear from her why she slowed down in the second half of the fight, which is when she said she was going to pick it up. The game plan was to rough up Braekhus, make her feel her age, and she did that the first 4 and 5 rounds, but then she took, the energy came out of McCaskill, and not to say that she still wasn't landing her punches, but she wasn't trying to take the championships away from Braekhus.
I will say this, whether they go 3 minutes or 2, I think they should at least go 12 rounds if they're going 2 minutes. Feels like there's some unsettled business, even on this fight.
I'll be happy with that extra minute. 3-minute rounds, 10 rounds, that's totally fine. You'll see a winner.
All smiles for the First Lady of Boxing. Does she have win number 37 and title defense number 26? That's what we are awaiting. 4 title belts up for grabs tonight. Will they head back to Norway, or will they head to the Windy City of Chicago, Illinois? The winner of this fight most surely will square off against next week's winner between Katie Taylor and Delphine Persoon. You can see it live here on Dazn from the United Kingdom. Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing's Fight Camp. Well, Sergio, how would you describe McCaskill's performance here tonight as she came up in weight?
I thought, you know, the first half of the fight, she showed her hunger, she showed her grit, her experience, her resilience. But then the second half of the fight, that's when Braekhus showed her experience and her savvy and what makes her the greatest woman boxer in the world, because she was able to extinguish the attack of McCaskill, and that's fighting behind the jab and staying disciplined. Didn't give McCaskill any type of opportunity to land anything or land combinations or make it dirty. Close fight, but I think Braekhus might have closed the show a little bit cleaner than McCaskill.
All right, Jeremiah Gallegos has the scorecards.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause for our ladies here inside the ring? After 10 rounds of action, we now go to the judges' scorecard. Here are the totals. Judge Karen Holderfield has the bout even, 95-95. Judge David Sutherland sees the bout 97-93. And Judge Gerald Ritter sees the bout 97-94. For your winner by majority decision, and new undisputed reigning welterweight champion of the world, Jessica McCaskill.
Incredible Jessica McCaskill.
Congratulations and a thank you to the one and
Look at the
only
celebration, Sergio Garcia. She did it. I'm not sure about those scorecards. What did they see?
They saw what I saw the first half of the fight, but the second half of the fight is where I think McCaskill, I mean, a draw would have been an equal decision. I mean, a great decision, but you can't complain against McCaskill winning or Braekhus winning. That's why these 2-minute rounds are so difficult. Women's boxing is difficult to judge, but it was a close, entertaining.